mache ich das.
Okay.
So, Lorenz kann mich verbessern, wenn das, wenn ich etwas Falsches sage oder so.
Okay. Can you explain the conflict between Netherlands and Flemish in Belgium?
Could you repeat?
Yes. Can you explain the conflict between the Netherlands and Flemish in Belgium?
Yes.
Why didn't you have that metro?
Okay. So you know that there are three regions, in fact, in Belgium. So the Dutch-speaking region, so Flanders, and the French-speaking region, Wallonia, and then we have a minority, the German, who speaks German. And I think most of our problems are based on a lot of stereotypes that exist between Flemish and the Walloons. For example, we Walloons could say of a Flemish man that they are rather traditional, they are hardworking, it's a good thing, but it means that they can have fun, that they are well organized, that they are quite mean, in the way that they are sick of paying for the Walloon welfare, because the Flemish think that the unemployment rate is higher in Wallonia than in Flanders. So the Flemish think that they pay for us, in fact. It's a generalization, okay? Not all Flemish think like this, okay?
Yeah.
And yes, one stereotype about Flemish is that they are separatists and extremists too. Okay, and on the other hand, Walloon viewed by a Flemish man, the Flemish say that we are quite lazy, not reliable, because the unemployment is quite higher in Wallonia, higher than in Flanders, that we like going on strike, that we don't want to learn Dutch, and that's the most important problem, I think, and that we are more interested in football than in working and so on. Okay, so there are a lot of stereotypes. And you have to know too that in the 19th century it was in fact necessary to speak French to belong to the upper class. So it was a good thing to speak French at this time. Okay, and if you couldn't speak French, if you only could speak Dutch, you were part of the second class, I would say. Okay, and then in the 20th century, some Flemish movements evolved to counter the situation, and the official language of Flanders became Flemish and not French. French was not so important in Flanders anymore, and this tendency increased with the time, and it led to a division of the country into two communities, in fact, two main communities of languages. Okay?
Yeah.
Did I answer your question or not?
Yes.
Yes? More or less? Could you come near the computer and ask the question in front of the computer so we could hear you perhaps better?
Yes, I'm right here next to the computer.
Okay, Because I hear you quite good.
But not the students.
And why did you have such trouble to form a government when you didn't have one?
Okay.
What was the problem?
We are also divided into linguistic groups, and it's the same for the parties. So it means that there are 4 main parties in Belgium. The Liberals, but in Flanders and in Wallonia. The Social Democrats in Flanders and in Wallonia. The Christian Democrats in Flanders and in Wallonia, and the Greens in Flanders and in Wallonia. Okay? So, for example, I live in Liège, in Wallonia, so I cannot vote for a Flemish party or a Flemish politician. Okay? So, at the end of the elections, we've got 2 main parties, so one in Flanders and one in Wallonia, and they have to create a coalition and then to form a government. But last time, the Flemish separatist party, it's called the NVA, and it's in favor of the dissolution of the Belgian government at the federal level, and in fact this party wants Flanders to become an independent state. Okay? And this party became the largest party in Flanders. And in Wallonia, it was the Socialist Party, so the PS. And the main problem is the territory of the Brussels capital region, which is bilingual, and so it's included both in the Flemish and French communities. Okay? And the fact is that the Flemish Separatist Party wanted to realize constitutional reform, state reform, to include, if you want, Brussels in the Flemish region. Okay, and the parties in Wallonia didn't agree, of course, and that's why we need a long time to create a government.
How did you solve the problem? Yes.
How
did you solve the problem?
Europe solved the problem.
Yes.
The pressure of Europe.
Yes.
You explain or no? Or I do. The Europe asked us to. We were obliged to have a government because our credit rating, yes, was
downgraded.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was bad dangerous for our country.
So Europe says, and you know this agency, how to call that? This agency like Moody's and Standard and Poor's. They say to us, you have to make a government because you have to take in charge your economy. So in 2 weeks after this event, we had a government.
Okay.
So it's the European pressure. Thanks to European pressure, we had a government
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. It was incredible, but that's the fact.
After more or less 550 days.
Do you have now any economic consequences because you didn't have the parliament?
Not really bad, because of course it's very important for the image of Europe, and because Brussels is the center of Europe, the capital of Europe. But the Belgians really divided in special districts for economy also. So we've got our autonomy in economics areas. So we are quite autonomous. You know, Wallonia is autonomous and Flanders is also autonomous. So that means, and Brussels, the 3 regions, economical regions, Brussels, Flanders and Wallonia, 3, we are quite autonomous. So that means our little government were in normal work. They were working at that time. It was just the federal government. We had a problem with the federal government, not with the regional one. And the regional government are very powerful now. So that's explain why we didn't have so many problems during this year without the government.
Do you have a national feeling at all? I mean, there's so many different parts. Do you feel as a country?
Good question.
I had
Less and less, I mean, no? Less and less. When we play football, we are a country.
yes. Sport is
sport. But from a cultural point of view, of course, we are not a country, we are a region. Because we speak different language, and like Switzerland, and our economical area are very divided now, very divided. That means we feel Wallonia before feeling Belgium citizen.
Yes, I just want to say I agree with you. But for example, when tragedies happen, you know, for example, like a few weeks in Switzerland when a lot of young children were killed in a car accident, I think in such situation the whole nation was deeply affected.
Yeah.
And there were no difference between Flemish people and Walloons. So,
yes. Have you heard of this tragedy in Switzerland? It was a very big subject.
But in the French part?
Yes. It was in the French part, of course.
Yes, in the French part.
Yes.
Just a sec. Yeah. One of our students has a question.
Yeah.
You have now the government you have created in 2 weeks. Because if you have the time, more than 1 year, and afterwards in 2 weeks you could form it, or the Belgian is happy now with this government.
Do you hear it?
Okay. À cause de Bardewey, explique qu'il y a quelqu'un qui ne veut pas, qui est complètement en considération.
Okay. So, you know, the separatist party, so the NBA, Bart de Wever, it's the president of this party, and so he won the elections. Okay, so normally he should be in the government. Okay, but
he's separatist. He wants to split the country. This man, Flemish one, Dutch one, wants to split the country. So he tried during 1 year to split the two how to say?
To make Flanders independent.
Yeah.
He wants Flanders to be a state. Okay, and
he's nationalist, really nationalist. So he was the Victorian, the winner. He was the winner of election. So he had to be in this government.
Yes,
Normally, he was supposed to be in the government because he was the winner of the election.
And perhaps even the prime minister.
And even the prime minister.
Because
this man refused to have a country. So,
are you happy with this situation now? Are you happy with the government you have now? When it's built?
Not really, because there is something artificial, you know. Wallonia is very happy because we have a Walloon prime minister. But French-speaking one. But we know that Flemish, and there are 6 millions. We are only 4.5 millions. So they are more than us. We know that Flemish are not very happy.
So you're not happy?
So, yes, it's a little bit artificial. We know that. It's better to have a Flemish minister, not extremist one, not like Bart de Wever, but a Flemish one. For example, we had another one. Now he's in the European Union. He's the leader of Liberal Party. His name is Guy Verhofstadt. We had Guy Verhofstadt as prime minister during 8 years. He was very, very famous amongst Walloon. Walloon loved him very well, and during 8 years, it was very nice for us too, because he was Flemish, of course, but very Belgian one and very European one.
He was bilingual, and I think he grew up in both cultures.
Yes, 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 yes.
I think his mother was French-speaking or contrary. So it was a real Belgian.
He had a European vision. The problem of Bardewever with Bardewever is very interesting from a European vision. He says he's European. It's absolutely not true. It's not true. It's a lie. He's a liar, because in fact he's only a nationalist man and he wants only Flanders for Flanders. But he manipulates the Europe to make his party to give a very good image of his own party. But in fact he is not European, absolutely not. He is only nationalist one. And it was really a pity, this man. But because of him, we took 1 year to have a government. Without him, it took 3 months maybe.
What about the culture or the traditions? Are there different in the different parts of Belgium? Are there different traditions as well?
Yes.
Yes, quite well. Yes, it's two cultures. You've got a kind of German one and a kind of Latin one. We are Latin and they are German, so it's quite different. Karen, explain you.
Yes, for example, I read it yesterday. I didn't know that there are no bilingual universities, for example, in Belgium, except the Royal Military Academy. Okay, there are no common media, for example, and there are no common cultural or scientific organizations, in fact, in which both main communities are represented. So we have really different traditions, different cultures.
The food is different. The food is quite different. Of course, we drink beers in the north and in the south. Beers, it's beers. Chocolate, it's chocolate. But the habits of eating during the day, for example, is quite different. They eat more sugar than us. There is, for example, they don't eat so many, sandwiches and stuff like that. There is many organizations to eat some dishes, some complete dishes for them. It's normal. It's not normal for Latin one. So even the bread and stuff like that, it's quite different. So our life is quite different. We, for example, a young Walloon doesn't know what a young Flemish do. It's quite different. They practice more sports in the north. They've got more money. They are richer, so that means there is more organization for young people, sports club and stuff like that. In Wallonia we are poor, so that means there are less activities for young people. For example,
to say hello, for example, we kiss each other.
Yeah.
And don't do that. Like in Germany.
Like in Germany, yeah.
So for us it's a little bit strange. Yes.
But in opposite of that, they are dressed in different way than us. They wear more colors.
Colorful.
They're colorful than us. We are, if you come in Liège, most of people are in grey or dark, and Flemish it's more colorful, for example. It's quite different. Physically they are different. They are German. They are taller than us, and they are blonder, clearer than us. We are smaller, and the darkness one, we are not counting. Yes, we know. There is physically difference. We are quite. It's two cultures, two ethnically from an ethnic point of view, we are different. On veut qu'on la voit, mais on la comprend pas.
Another question.
Yeah.
So if you have absolutely like nothing in common, why is it so important to you to be one country? I mean, you say that the culture is different, that they dress different, that
Yes.
they're not like
Imagine, like parents, you know, you've got a baby, so you decided to stay together because you've got a baby. Who is our baby? Brussels is our baby, the capital of Europe.
It belongs to both regions.
And Flanders wants to keep Brussels, and Wallonia wants to keep Brussels, because Brussels means money, Brussels means Europe, and stuff like that. That's only the only reasons. It's this one, nothing else. And because we would be a very small country if we decide to divide. Imagine we would be 4 million people in Wallonia. It's a very small country. In a very big Europe, it's a little bit stupid. But of course, we are two cultures. You're right. It's a little bit stupid to stay together, but it's like that.
Just to have something, there are two different cultures, but for example, my personal experience, my best friend is Flemish, so she's bilingual. I would say her mother tongue is Flemish, and she speaks Flemish with children. I understand Flemish, so it's not a problem, and I'm the godmother of one of her children, and there are no problem at all. So I mean, you don't have to generalize. It's true that we have two different cultures, but
sometimes it's okay. A part of my family is Flemish. My aunt is married with a Flemish man, so a part of my family is Flemish. But I have to say that. But they are quite different now. They became very different of this part of my family. So we are quite different now.
Okay, there's another question.
Because back to the thing that you would be a pluralist state if you would be a nation by your own. What do you think? There would be Umfrage, a question survey, or is Wallonian survey of the Wallonian people. Do you think they would have a chance to get French instead of their own state?
Never. And Flemish is the same for Flemish. If you ask to Flemish people, do you want to become Netherlands
part of Holland.
A part of Holland? They say no, because we've got our own culture. Imagine if we get in France, okay? If we become French people, we will be only a little district, a little part of this very big country. And we refuse to be French people. We are francophone, we call us francophone de Belgique. That's why we've got this special stuff. We are not French. We speak French, we share a very big part of French culture, but we've got our own specificity, and we prefer to stay, to keep it and to keep our autonomy. And it's the same for Flemish.
I have another question. If you meet a Wallonian, a Flemish man or woman or what, and do you get married?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah. If there is a Wallonian,
Deutsch und Karl zu besetzen.
sag ich aber wallonischer Mann eine flämische Frau heiraten? Passiert das?
Ja, klar. Moi, c'est voilà que. Enfin, ici, on peut se marier entre nous. Enfin,
Yes, my family. I gave you this example. My aunt married a Flemish man. Yes, it's absolutely, it's quite normal. Even in between politicians, we had some politicians married a Walloon and Flemish one. Yes, it's absolutely normal. It's quite normal, but just it's different culture. It's two culture.
So a marriage will be quite difficult.
Like Italian, you know, there is a lot of Italian people here in Belgium. Our big immigration, the first big immigration in Belgium was Italian one after the Second War, Mondial War. It was Italian came to work in Belgium. There is a lot of marriage, wedding between Italian and Belgian women. It's quite normal. It's like Flemish, and it's the same religion. You know, it's the same. So it's quite easy. It's quite easy. No. It's Spanish too, and Polish too. No. It's normal.
Another subject again. Why do you think that Brussels is called the capital of Europe? Do you have your own reasons why it's happened? Why it's Brussels, not another city of Europe? Because if very variable, you seem quite national and not so European thinking as well. But there must be something that makes Brussels really easy idea for the capital of Europe.
I can't hear you out of noise. Like a plane or something like that.
Can you still hear us?
What's rain? Yes.
It's better. Something happened. Yes.
Okay.
So
Could you repeat?
could you repeat? Sorry, because we didn't hear anything.
Also, ich mache nochmal auf Deutsch. Ne? Warum wurde ausgerechnet Brüssel die Hauptstadt von Europa, wenn es doch in einem Land liegt, das zwei verschiedene Kulturen hat? Also warum glaubt ihr, ist Brüssel die Hauptstadt von Europa geworden?
Pourquoi Bruxelles est toujours la capitale de l'Europe? Parce qu'elle est dans un pays de tradition, culture qui ne nous aime pas.
Yes, but when Brussels became capital, it was maybe 20 years ago now. 20 years ago it was, the situation was better, and it's also a geographical point of view. We are really in the center of Europe. You are in 1 hour and 30 minutes to Paris. You are in 3 hours of London. You are in 2 hours of Amsterdam. You are in 30 minutes from Cologne. So we are really, it's not only a word, we are really the center of Europe. So it was very easy. That's why we've got Brussels, Luxembourg and Strasbourg. There are three towns. These 3 towns are very central in Europe. So it was logical to choose this. And Belgium are very European one. Remember, the foundation of Europe was Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands, the Holland. So we were the 3 first countries who decided to be together for the mines, for the for coal. Yes, for economical reasons, we decided, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Holland, to create a market, a common market. We were the 3 first one. That's why also Brussels is, of course, an evidence to become a capital of Europe.
What are you most proud of in your country?
Could you repeat?
Oder auf Deutsch.
What are you most proud of in your country?
The most problems?
The most proud of. What outside stolz.
Proudest. De quoi est-ce qu'on est le plus fier? I was surrealism. Do you know the word surrealism?
Painter?
Surrealism way of life. We are very different from French, from the rest of Europe. Even Flemish and Walloon in arts, for example, in paintings, in movies, we are a very small country, and we've got a lot of very good actors and very good movies all over the world. Flemish and Walloon, because we are quite different. We've got this. We are very strange, but we know we are very strange. And and there is a kind of humor, you know. We've got a strange of humor, a very peculiar humor in Belgium. And maybe you know Magritte, the painters. He's surrealist, and we've got this special touch to explain the way of life, to explain everything. And we are not so serious than French. You know, in French they are very serious, very proud of the France, la France. In Belgium, no. We are just, okay, we are a small country, strange one, okay, we are proud of that, okay, bye-bye. And it's just like that. We are very different from France. And we are more simple. We are not very serious. Maybe it's the touch, the Belgian touch.
Okay. Last but not least, what's your favorite cliché or stereotype about Swiss people or Switzerland? What do you think about Swiss people?
Two. We've got two.
Okay.
Banks, the bank, the money. You are very rich, and you refuse to go in Europe just because of money. It's a stereotype, okay? It's just a stereotype. And also
This principle of neutrality too.
the neutrality, yes, and
The clock.
the clock. You are the best one for the clock.
Not for chocolate. Not for chocolate.
No, not for chocolate, sorry for you.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Question 4, yeah?
Another question. I was thinking, how can it work to have one king with 4 parliaments in Belgium?
The king's rule? Yes? No.
The king's role?
What's the king's rule? It's a question?
It's just, I was wondering, how does it work to have one king with 4 parliaments, one country?
Kannst du das auf Deutsch sagen?
Ja, ein König hat 4 Parlamente in einem Land, wie funktioniert das?
Yes. We've got 6 governments.
But I was wondering, okay, even 6, that's universal. Okay, how can it work?
And it works like this, more or less.
It works like that, yeah. Because it's they've got a very specified responsibilities, each of them. So that's why that's okay. That works.
There are different competencies, in fact. So the federal government
It's got very few competences.
like
Army and social security.
So on. And then we've got the 3 communities,
For culture,
education.
yeah, and 2 regions for economics. That's why we've got a lot of big, but that costs a lot of. Can you
Money.
imagine that? That costs a lot of money. Because we've got a lot of governments, a lot of ministers, And we are a very small country, so it's a little bit stupid. We've got more ministers than in France, and we are very few. We are quite a small country. We are 10, maybe 11 now, 11 millions of people. In France, they are 80 millions. So it's crazy. In France, they've got only 12 ministers, I think. We've got the same number. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking that it could be a little bit chaotic if there are so many parliaments, ministers in one rather small country. But if you say it's working carefully, okay.
Okay. That's it. No other questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
See ya.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Notre son est vachement meilleur que le leur. Je sais pas ce qu'il foutait, et en espagnol, c'était nettement